Okay, it's day 88, and yesterday I said this gentleman here. Now, this may be Roman Kroupnik, and this is Mark Lambert, but I said the Kroupniks were going to be the key, the next domino to fall, if you will, in the Uranium One. So it was this Pavel Kroupnik here, that is the director of the United States Enrichment Corp. That's the corporation that has the monopoly on enriching uranium in the United States for the last, I believe it's going to be the last 20 years since 1998. I believe that Uranium One sets the stage for the whole conspiracy. And it's not really conspiracy, it's collusion. I'm a collusion theorist. It's not a conspiracy. That's for the other guys at PPTV. So if you look down here, you don't have to go past the first comment to see that all coming together. And here's Terry Shinstock. And he's talking about the Kroupniks in Zambia, and also Mark Lambert's background in Zambia. Now remember, when you go to a central country, you go to the one that has the least regulation. And Terry's talking about the lack of regulations in Zambia. And that's where you do your reduction. So you take this uranium ore and then you reduce it through these crushers. And so they're talking about that friend, that Struble, that Barney Rubble, that Strubble guy, who had that company, and also this Barrick Gold Mining, which is the largest gold mining company in the world. And they use Kroupnik rock crushers. So here's Krupp Mining right here, all right? And they sell these, and that is owned by Roman Kroupnik right there. That's the person that's in that picture, okay? And his son, I showed his Twitter yesterday, Michael Kroupnik there. He is there now, and he is currently doing kind of social media, running the social media. So the Kroupniks sell this uranium ore crushing capability. Now there's going to be, I'm just saying, on metadata and pattern in practice, there is going to be uranium rock crushers potentially sold by the Kroupniks in some central area in either Nevada or Utah or both. Maybe even in Wyoming, and then a lot of the uranium goes out through Oregon, through this facility in Oregon. I see a lot of data looking at that. So through the port on the Columbia River. So it's really, you don't have to go past the first comment to get not only a great confirmation of the article that I did in the morning, the first episode, but also additional information. So this is Roman Kroupnik. He owns the crushers. We now have a face. One day later, we now have a face of Zambia. Here I put the Michael Kroupnik, the son, and his thing in Zambia. And the connection is totally made. And not only that, the pattern and practice is established, so now you can just map that straight on to the West. And we know about the Finicum story with the 392 uranium mines in Oregon. We know about people in Utah. We know about people in Nevada with the Bundys that have resisted this mining and so forth. Now all we need to find is where the crushing took place. And again, the person who is hiring all the people, that is a relative. The person who's hiring all the people to do this uranium enrichment. Now, the other thing is robotics. So here's someone posted this article about how the AI is being used for everything from looking at exploration, using the satellite technology that we've been talking about, to robots actually running the mine. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen Jason Goodman and Quinn did a thing about one of the largest gold mines near Deadwood in South Dakota, I believe. I've been to Deadwood. I knew that they did gold mining there. I don't know if that's where the museum is or not. But typically what you do is you close the mine down, you make a museum out of it, and then you run the robots at night. You could do this same process with reducing things to yellow cake. I believe there is a facility, and I'm going to say, just based on metadata, I'm going to say it's in New Mexico, where John Podesta has his plant that runs on some secret enzyme and generates all kinds of power on some secret enzyme, which I don't really believe is true, for Joule energy. That's where I'm saying the reduction is occurring, in that northwest corner of New Mexico is one of the locations. Potentially the rock crushing is happening earlier. I don't know why you would want to carry the rock all that way. You'd probably want to reduce it to yellow cake for running it down to New Mexico. But then you spin it, in either Kentucky, in Mitch McConnell's facility there in Kentucky, or you take it to Ohio and potentially run those centrifuges at night. And then, of course, once you've got that reduced yellow cake, you can then, and you've got it reduced to fuel or fuel rods potentially even in Mobile, Alabama, then you can ship those rods anywhere in the world, and you can be the provider of Navy fuel rods to every Navy in the world, to every Navy in the world. So anyway, it's just beautiful. I love comments like that tie everything together. So much of the pattern and practice of and the modus operandi is answered in just the very first comment.